Yo, it's late and I'm bored, so here is an Uber Sigil guide slash tutorial. Look, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not that good at Sigil. I may be ranked, but I'm not. Like, trust me, just trust me, okay? Like, please, I'm not that good at Sigil. But these are some of the tips that I personally believe are good for Sigil. Some of the things I believe you should do if you want to be a pro Uber Sigil. I am not one. I strive to be one in the future, but currently I am not as good as Sigil players like Shiro, Ian Beifong, Lutriel, people like that. I'm not as good as them. But these are just some basic things that I picked up over my years as a Sigil Knight Uber Commander, and I want to show them to you for aspiring Sigil pros and whatnot. So, Pasmar, the main charge that you're going to be using as an Uber Sigil, it does a ton of stuff that I don't care about, but it's really good. It has stun, damage, all that fun stuff. So, a basic Sigil combo that you'll see people do is M1, 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 Rod. Some dumb shit like that. It's terrible, don't do it. What you're going to want to do instead, and is a much better combo, is the Rod of Narsa combo. Oops. Excuse me, as I am not a pro. I am not a master with this combo. It's very stupid, and it's a very, as you'll see if you try to do it yourself, it's shit. Basically that. And you know, that is what's gonna let you one combo all kinds of shit. It's very useful, trust me. Don't do the stupid ass fucking, hold on, let me show you. Don't do that, because it's just a waste. I mean, you could do it at the end if you want, but to start off your combo, if you land in M1, do that. It's better. It lets you combo extend. It does plenty of damage, and yeah, it's do it, please. But aside from that, now when using Chain of Fate, I recommend that you really don't fucking be an idiot. I don't want to be mean, but a lot of people, what I'll see them do is they'll just randomly use Chain of Fate. You know, sometimes it works, sometimes you land it, but a lot of the times they're gonna block it. And when they block it, not only did you just waste your Chain of Fate, but you can't use it to combo extend during that cooldown. And also, you could even get punished if they're close enough. So what you're gonna want to do when using Chain of Fate to combo extend is do this. That. And then you can follow up with your, your whatever. Do your 5 and 1 rod combo. I'll show you a Sigil combo once my shit's off cooldown, but in the meantime, let me talk about Rod of Narsa. Rod of Narsa is a move that is blockable and is interesting. Now, when you're using Rod of Narsa, you want to watch for them blocking. Because if they're blocking, that is not going to happen. They're going to block it, they're going to get punished, and you're going to die, depending on the class you're fighting. So instead, is you can do that, and if they're holding block next to it, M2 will. And reason that's good is because it's good damage, it's free damage, and sometimes it'll even break their blocking. You can follow up with a Pasmar M1 and do your whole combo. Speaking of combo, let me show you. Here is a basic Sigil combo that I came up with using this dumbass mechanic. Oops. Forgive me. I am not a pro. This thing is definitely going to get knocked before I finish the combo, by the way. It has like 200 some HP. It's only an ultra, so... Oh my god. Yeah, so basically that. Normally you'd finish off with a thing that I'm going to show you in a second. By the way, you're not supposed to miss that M1 that I missed at the start. You're normally supposed to hit it, but I don't care. It does plenty of damage. You're going to one-shot most classes, if not all classes. Actually, you will one-shot all classes with that shit. The only thing you're not going to one-shot is maybe like a Dena carry DSK, but come on now, those things are unkillable. Let's get into Flame Charge and White Flame. So, these two things are very, very important. Now, a common sigil thing you'll see people do is you'll see them do this. And you know, that's your basic sigil M1 combo with Flame Charge. Now, what if I told you that this actually does more damage? Once Flame Charge gets back, I'll show you. That does more damage than the Flame Charge. Now, forgive me, as I am not a good sigil. I will say it once in 1,000 times. I am not a pro. Nothing of the sort. But, I'm just trying to show you some of the things I've seen people do and pick them up myself. Let's see. Like I showed you, White Flame into Flame Charge does more damage than Flame Charge alone. Ice Charge. When using Ice Charge, you're pretty much only going to use it for ragdoll combos and to get people off you. When fighting an Uber Abyss, and they pop Spinning Soul, what I recommend doing is you Ice Charge them and then dip. Because you can't touch them during it. You can't do anything to them during Spinning Soul. And don't be a retard and waste your Pasma Resolve Blow on them just because they're in Spinning Soul. Try to get away from them. Pasma Resolve Blow is good iframes if need be, but I wouldn't recommend wasting it. Speaking of Pasma Resolve Blow, let me show you it. Pasma Resolve Blow is an iframe attack that is very, very good. And not in the way you'd think. Regularly you'll see sigils do it just by itself, but a very cool thing you can do, and I know that good sigils know you can do this, is this. Is if you use White Flame with it, or regular Flame, both work, it does extra damage, it keeps them on fire, it's very, very good. Now, if you noticed, Mr. Blacksmith here got flung pretty far when at the end of it, and you're probably wondering why. That's because I let go of my sword at the very end, and it gives insane knockback when you do so. It's not that practical in PS, for example, but in say you're fighting someone at Golnir's, you can see the use. In terms of combos, what you'll see some sigils do is you'll see them Undercharge Rod, you know, that fun stuff, but it's not, I mean, the thing I showed you is better. It's better. Now, what you could do is you could, if I can get past my bag. That is not what I meant to do. My apologies, but basically, where I use this, I use Thunder Charge and that rod. You can do that if you're fast. But yeah. I'm going to say it again, I'm not a pro sigil, so I'm going to be messing these things up. I'm just showing you what to do. In terms of Spellblade, there are 2 or 3 options you can have. Ignis, Gelidus, and Tulorm. I personally like Tulorm a lot, as it's a free combo starter if they're holding block, and just in general, the stun lets you get it free on one end. Ignis and Gelidus, I don't use them because I just don't find a use for them. I saw, what is his name, Butria or whatever. He has a Spellblade Ignis. I have no idea why. I'm not going to ask. I don't care. Gelidus, you don't use Gelidus a lot, but you know, you use Gelidus as much as you'd use it with any other class, really. It leads into ragdoll combos and whatnot, I guess. Mana Shield. Best race for Sigil, in my opinion, is Morvid, just because of fall damage resistance and Flock. They're very useful. Now, Resolve. Resolve is, like I showed you, it's a very important thing. So when you're comboing somebody, normally at the end of a combo, you want to do that, the Resolve Pasmar with Flame Charge, if you can. Sorry if I'm not explaining too well. It's late. I just want to get this out of the way because I'm bored. But, when using Resolve Thundercharge, you can use it as a combo starter. Like, they won't expect it, and it's good. Another thing you can use to end combos is Flame Charge, Resolve Blow if your Pasmar is on cooldown, which you very well could do. But try not to have it on cooldown, because you're gonna want it not on cooldown. As for moves like counter, use it against Shinobis. That's about it. That's the only time you're ever gonna be using counter. Let's see. Now you're gonna see Fisherins a lot as a sigil, and I mean you're gonna struggle against them a lot as a sigil. They're the most annoying race to fight as a sigil. If any sigils disagree, they're wrong. Like, no offense, but mainly because you have to land this on it. Only when you land that, it gets rid of all their dodges. It's very useful, right? Now, I'm not gonna lie, sigil doesn't struggle against many races, but it does have a hard time dealing with Fisherins who know how to hold F. It can be very hard to approach something like a Fish Oni or a Fish Shinobi who's, running around a lot. You're not going to be able to touch them. And the off chance you do touch them, you have to get rid of their dodges first. And then, before they get their dodges back, you have to somehow combo them. It's a very process, and I really hate fighting Fisherins. Common classes that you're going to want to fight that you're going to need help with fighting as a sigil is probably Uber Shinobi, Abyss. I haven't talked about it, but yeah. But Abyss is the most... Abyss and D-Sage are both equally annoying to fight as a sigil, in my opinion. You can one-combo both of them, but you have to land it. As an Abyss has more M1 range than you, and more pressure than you. All they have to do is hold F and punch accordingly, and it's pretty hard to deal with them. Abyss, it is what it is. Just be really careful when fighting Abyss. Don't make mistakes, or else you're gonna die. In terms of fighting a D-Sage, don't waste Rod. Don't use Rod. If they're holding Monk Shield, you can use Spellblade to lower them. It pierces Monk Shield. You can go in with your combo. It's great. But don't waste Rod, because they're gonna block it and they're gonna one-shot you. But, well, not one-shot you, but deal like half your HP. It's not fun fighting a D-Sage. Other than that, Onis are Onis. I don't really want to explain, because Onis are so complicated, in my opinion. Yeah, aside from that, these are just basic sigil things that I wanted to talk about. Oh, I didn't even... Actually, yeah, I did talk about them too. So yeah, aside from that, that's about it. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you all can become pro sigils, as this is a very overrated class in my opinion. Everyone thinks it's the most busted thing in the world. Well, I personally believe it to be B tier. If you disagree, let me know why. Thank you, and goodbye.